What really happened at Astroworld and who's to blame? It's a concert in Houston that left 8 people at the very least dead and many, many more wounded. And when you have moments like this is a young woman telling the people running the show, hey, stop, people are dying. What do you do?
That's okay, we see real quick. Chase me, let's do it.
They're continuing the show. She said there's somebody dead. Stop the show. He's saying, get off here, get off here. Both of them are demanding they stop the show. There's people dying as this concert rolls on. And not a lot of people seem to care. I mean, this is a huge and tragic incident here. You can see from the Associated Press, crowd surge kills at least 8 at this Houston Music Festival. The crowd at a Houston Music Festival surged violently toward the stage during a performance by rapper Travis Scott, squeezing fans so tightly together they cannot breathe or move their arms. The pandemonium unfolded Friday at this sold-out 2-day event. There was 50,000 people at this event. And as Travis Scott took stage and another guy, Drake, was up with him, you know, the recording artist Drake, things turned into absolute and utter chaos. And this should have been something that they saw coming a long ways away. This is how the music festival opened, for God's sake. This is not order. This is chaos. ABC 13 with what the gates look like when Astroworld opened. A sold-out event, maybe some better security. I mean, watching that, there was one guy monitoring these particular security gates here with the metal detectors, and that one guy fled. He's gone now. This is a sold-out event. They definitely did not have enough security. You could just see it as these people are flooding in. And this goes on and on. They're jumping over the gates. Right there, the security guy takes one of them out, knocks him down on the ground, and they should have known early on they weren't going to be able to get control of this event. They said, while the most deadly moments happened after 9:30, Pena, this is somebody they're talking to about this, said more than 300 patients in total had been treated at a field hospital that they had to set up since the event began, including 2 people who were hurt during the worst moments. And one of the victims was a 10-year-old child, a 10-year-old. They transported 23 people to hospitals. 17 were taken away during the worst of the ordeal. It was an absolute catastrophe. And look, I mean, this is the crowd as this show is going off in the most heated of moments. Tell me you want to be in that. Because I don't want to be in that. 50,000 people squished. And watch this go down. Nah. No, thank you. That is 50,000 people trying to fit in a 10,000 people container. Eyewitnesses at the Astroworld Festival said that the pleas of fans to stop the concert were ignored as people died. You already know that. You heard it. But listen to some of the people afterwards. They were really shaken up about what they witnessed. Listen to this woman in particular.
In the VIP section, it was so many bodies laid out. People was getting pulled out who was fainted. And the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning black and blue. Like I never seen death in my fucking life, bro.
Jesus.
Just by me alone, it was probably like 10 people laid out dead. And like once the medics tried to help them, they wasn't responding. They moved to the next person. It was nothing they could have do like this.
Jeez, man, you can tell that this person just saw some pretty intense stuff, and they weren't alone. Here is another round of concert goers. First, I want to mention something that the reporter says.
Genesis, you were talking to us when this whole trampede kind of started.
Trampede? Let's check this out real quick. Urban Dictionary, trampede. Any person or place that is overrun with a highly concentrated number of tramps in motion. I don't know if he meant it that way because it's sort of not something you would say on television.
That you were just very fearful. Kind of describe what happened yet last night.
Right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm getting tongue-tied. So like the crowd just started pushing and pushing. So we were against a fence. So we kind of like hopped over the fence just because we didn't want to be squished. And like, wait, you want me to tell you like what I saw? Everything? Okay. So we saw everybody hopping the fence, and then there was like a big screen, and everybody was in front of the screen, jumping on the stage. People were climbing the speaker bars.
Just all around chaos. There's no order here. There was no order at the start. There was no order at the finish. It was a trampede. A stampede. Let's use stampede instead. And let's listen to these eyewitnesses here, including this particular guy, give their story about what happened.
Like before it even started, like people were like shoving and like pushing, and you could tell like, oh, this is gonna get crazy. And I think Don Tolliver was like the first set that I was like, yo, like I'm kind of scared for my life at this moment. And then obviously like Travis was at like another stage, and then I was, oh man, there's just so many people there. It felt like a million people there at once. Like
felt like a million people
just, like, passing out, and like you could barely catch your breath.
So the guy over there was telling us like the crowd started like pulsating back and forth, and it started getting feeling like a weird vibe or something.
Yeah.
And then stuff just like erupted. So tell me about that.
Yeah, it just like, it would kind of like, you like people would push forward, and then like the people at the fence, you know, they didn't want to get pushed all the way squished, and so they'd push back.
So you can see what's happening here. The crowd is swaying forward and back. And if you're in the middle of that, it's not the worst thing. It's not great. But if you're at the actual railing in front of the stage, all of that pressure from behind you is now pushing with you have nowhere to go. It's just pushing right up against those barriers. And it's got to be just an unbelievably scary experience. Here is the police and fire with some of the details on what they say happened at Astroworld. And then we'll talk about who's to blame, because we're going to get into the response from several people who were there. Plus, we're going to hear from Travis Scott because he's responded to this morning.
We know that we had at least eight confirmed fatalities tonight. 8 confirmed fatalities, and we had scores of individuals that were injured here in this event. We had an attendance of approximately 50,000 to the Travis Scott Astroworld Festival event. What we do know is that at approximately 9 o'clock, 9:15, the crowd began to compress towards the front of the stage, okay? And that caused some panic, and it started causing some injuries. People began to fall out, become unconscious, and it created additional panic.
Obviously, it did. I mean, you would have panicked in that situation, I'm assuming as well. Let me know if you would ever find yourself in a crowd this big in the comments below. Some of these first-person accounts are crazy. Here's Madeline. I just left Astroworld Festival. Let me say this. As someone who's been to every Astro Fest there's been, this was completely different. It was awful. I passed out, get this, because people were pushing up against me so much I couldn't breathe. Sam got people to apparently crowd surf my unconscious body to the security guard, and I got carried to a little section behind general admission and put down on a stool. When I woke up, I had a water bottle in my lap, and I had no clue what happened. And they talk about this experience and how absolutely wild it was. Here's somebody else. I was a trained medic, or I am a trained medic. I was doing CPR on a girl as Drake was coming on with Travis. 2 medical staff came over to help. They were like deer in headlights. They had no effing clue what they were doing. One of them straight up left. The other medic was screaming if anybody else knew CPR. The 2 that came over had no ambu bag, no gloves, no AED, nothing. I had the girl's friend do mouth-to-mouth while the dumbass medic was just standing there. These people were unprepared, understaffed, and they were ripe for failure. This here is Travis Scott's actual reaction to all this from his official Twitter account. Travis Scott, the guy who was throwing this festival, he's done it many years. It's called Astroworld in Houston. He says, I'm absolutely devastated by what took place last night. My prayers go out to the families and all those impacted by what happened at Astroworld Festival. Houston PD has my total support as they continue to look into the tragic loss of life. I'm committed to working together with the Houston community to heal and support the families in need. Thank you to Houston PD Fire Department and NRG Park for their immediate response and support. Love you all, he said. And no big surprise, the next day of the festival was completely and totally canceled. I mean, it's not like no one was saying anything. It's not like people didn't know that there was some stuff going on and maybe they should stop the show so nobody else died.
That's okay with you real quick.
It was very clear to all involved that something was going wrong, and yet the show went on. So who's to blame? The organizers, the artists who kept performing despite what they saw happening in front of them, the unprepared staff on the grounds, the folks who weren't doing anything in the way of security of this event from the get-go, from the jump when they let them come in and they were just running right through and jumping over walls and fences. A little bit of everybody. Either way, it's tragic. 8 people dead and many, many more injured. Give me your thoughts on what you think about this and who you think deserves some responsibility for the deaths that occurred at this music festival in Houston this weekend. If you're new around here at facebook.com/thenewsjunkie, please hit that follow button so you get videos just like this every day. Over on youtube.com/thenewsjunkie, hit subscribe. Thank you to my supporters. I appreciate you. You can support on either one of those platforms, and it tosses some money my way to keep these videos coming for you each and every day. I appreciate you watching. As always, I look forward to your comments and your reactions. Those are important too on this post. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you again real soon.